It's Black Tower Podcast. It's time for another episode of Black Tower Podcast. Come on down. Oh, God. I'm being invaded again.
Oh.
That's very aggressive. Why are you so aggressive? Look, okay, everybody. This is, I am Josh. I'm Sorvan Mahale. This is a new division of the Black Tower, Puppy Dog Mahale. Are you a Puppy Dog Mahale? You're a Puppy Dog Mahale. Puppy Dog Mahale is very, very aggressive.
Dark Hounds for the light.
Light Hounds? I like it.
Or you could always go with you've seen the Seven Deadly Sins anime, right?
Yes.
The Order of Scraps Disposal.
Love it.
Anyway,
who are
I'm
you,
Andrew.
sir?
Andrew, like it says right there, if you're watching, if you're not, just imagine you're seeing me, and then right in front of me is my name.
Right there.
Bajan Mahale. I lead the battles. Every time I say Bajan Mahale, like I'm staring at your name, and so my brain goes to say like Storm. And then like I think Storm, and I think back to X-Men, like the first one, where they're fighting in the Statue of Liberty, and what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning. Same thing that happens to everything else.
Every time I hear Bajan Mahale, I think of Bijan Frise, but like Bijan Mahale.
I think of
like if you were French.
Dijon mustard.
Oh, Bijan mustard.
Which I categorically do not care for.
Yeah, it's not the best.
I don't know how that's categorically, but as a subcategory of mustards, it's not for me.
Welcome to the condiment episode of the Black Tower Podcast.
Anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for
You take
tuning
away
in. This is going to be a super fun show. We're going to have super much fun with this, aren't we, Andrew?
Bruh, I'm not going to lie. The way you said that for a split second, I was wondering if I smelled toast or had a stroke. I was like, what in the hell did I just hear?
What in the hell did I just hear? Someone get the Sorval Hale some wine.
Speaking of wine, we'll go ahead and do this now. We've got a new spoiler warning from one of our fantastic friends, listeners.
Spoiler warning.
And if you are listening and you would like to do a spoiler warning for us, you can do so. Just join our Patreon, which you can find over on our website, blacktowerpod.com. There's a link to join the Patreon right there, and you can get all kinds of benefits. You can get stickers. You can record spoiler warnings for us, and we will use them. And if we don't use them, we'll tell you why, and we'll work with you to get it to a usable thing that we can use. Because contrary to popular belief, we do have a limit. So it's a pretty low limit or high limit. I don't know. But that's like a limit. The limit does not exist. It's a limit in the same way that like the national deficit has a limit. Like it does, but does it really?
It does when the other guy is going to win and you need to blame something on him.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But something there definitely is no limit on is enjoying blacktowerpod.com. You can find our merch shops where you can get nice shirts like this or nice hoodies like Josh is wearing over there with our Mahale logos on them. You can customize like all kinds of stuff there and get all the fun, cool stuff. You can even get little posters. And if you're some of the patrons, you already got like little posters. Not gonna lie, I thought they would be bigger, but we need higher reser pictures. Anyway, well, that's different. That's gonna take a lot more work because that's gonna have to be reworking because I did upload the original picture from like 5 years ago that got made, and it's like, yeah, no, this is the biggest you can go. And I think it's like the smallest poster.
I think we need to revamp it anyway. I think it needs a revamping.
What do y'all think? Let us know. We might have already decided by the time this goes out public, but if you are a Patreon, you could listen live and tell us, hey, you're dumb. Don't do that. Or I can't believe y'all waited this long to revamp it. So
yeah.
New logo, new me. Who dis? Anyway. This episode's spoiler warning before we start spoiling all the things brought to you by our dear, dear friend, he who comes with the wine.
You have arrived at the Black Tower. You have been deemed worthy to accept the lessons the Mahales have crafted for your edification. This will be no easy task. You will be trained. You will be tested. You will be torn asunder. You must be destroyed and made new, that the glory of the Lord Dragon may enter you and guide you into the depths of madness. You will be broken. You will be tainted. You will be spoiled. Be warned. Too much taint will lead to madness. Temper your appetites, lest you be sent for a taste of my special vintage. If you do not wish to enter my beloved tower and be so spoiled, you are welcome to leave now and forever turn your back on honor, glory, and brotherhood. To leave after is to reserve your place on my tree. Designers? Good. Then prepare. Attend your betters. You will be spoiled. That's the man!
I love it.
There's absolutely an element of we're gonna murder those lousy bastards by the bushel.
Yeah, there is. I love
We're gonna use their guts to grease the tread of our tanks.
it.
Very good. No, that was really well done. I am impressed.
That's one.
Now it just needs like a graphic to play, which we talked about before this. Oh, bless you.
Son of a bitch, I got sneezes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sneeze, scramble my brain. Oh, I was gonna say we've got such creative listeners. Like seriously, like we got such intelligent and creative and super smart people. I love them so much. I love you guys. Thank you so much for submitting these. If you want to submit your own spoiler warning, all you have to do is go to Patreon. Little known fact, that is a benefit available to the soldier tier. If I'm not
family member.
Oh, that's open to everyone. So you can record your own spoiler warning as the lowest tier member of the Black Tower Podcast Patreon community.
Yeah, I really would love to see like somebody like actually animate. Like it doesn't have to be like crazy like anime style animation, but like animate the Black Tower training grounds for that spoiler warning. So
I like it.
Any of you aspiring animation aficionados that are artistic wind up hearing this and decide you want to do it, you have our seal of approval.
Two Geeks likes the new spoiler warning,
as well as the seal of approval of Two Geeks.
That's right. It's the geekiest one, I think.
Two geeks, one very intimate mic.
Sometimes you gotta share. I'm just saying.
Now the question is it MIC or MIKE?
We're not gonna go there. Hi, so
hey,
Black Tower Podcast. Hot mic.
Overheard at WatCon.
Hashtag hot mic. Yep, that's true.
It's a hard seal to get. Yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about this episode there?
Oh, we're talking about, so as you may have seen from the thumbnail or the title and description of the episode, we're doing the Wheel of Time One-Hit Wonders. And in this particular case, maybe this is going to be a new segment. We're not sure, but we're testing it out. We're chewing on it tonight. We're going to see how we like it. And what we're discussing tonight is different like things that are kind of smeared over the course of the books that we just kind of go, wow, you mentioned that once and it was really cool. Where is it now?
That was cool. That was really fun. Let's never do it again.
Or that was cool. That was fun. Why did you only do it once?
We need more.
I mean, it could be either, right?
I mean, yeah, no, it could be. Could also like kind of think about like things that should have been like one hit wonders. Like what's something you kept doing that should have only happened once?
Something that just would not stop.
Yeah.
Crossed her arms under her breasts. Do we need that every time? I mean that's where the arms go. That's where the arms go.
She crossed her arms and walked across the courtyard, boobing boobily.
Yeah, she boobed boobily up the stairs while crossing her arms, and I don't know.
The literary equivalent of writing, she went upstairs to do some woman shit. I don't know what it was.
Women gonna do women shit. No, but for this particular case, I thought I'd start off with the most impressive time capsules ever invented. And we're talking about stasis boxes. Because this is kind of a weird little story plot device, right? Because we only get it, I think there's only four stasis boxes in the whole series, and then like Samael, one of the Forsaken, even says, yeah, I tried to find the rest of them, they're all destroyed.
Yeah, they're either all destroyed or I just can't find them.
Yeah, it's also super convenient that the Forsaken who find stasis boxes find stasis space.
Gotta warm up that tongue. It's spent the last 3 millennia in a stasis box.
It's convenient that the Forsaken who find the stasis boxes find the exact stasis boxes that fit their personality entirely. Like,
well, it's like you ever played Subnautica?
No.
So like one of the things you can do towards the end, like once you've built the spaceship and you're leaving, is you can literally take items that you've had and put them in a little time capsule that as you take off in the spaceship to finally escape the planet, like you jettison it and leave it on the planet in case anybody else comes down, which is kind of counter to the semi like thought process of like how you even got to where you can leave and what caused you to be there in the first place. Kind of like same thing, like there could be a bunch of them or whatever. That's the first thing I thought of when I thought of stasis boxes. I mean, technically you can put food in those and people can pick them up and the food's not spoiled.
Yeah. Well, so this the interesting thing about a stasis box, and this is actually something in looking this up that I didn't really know, that time inside of a stasis box is such that if they were to put you in a stasis box, okay, say I were to be like, here you go, buddy, here's your stasis box, go to bed, and then close the lid on you, it wouldn't matter if you were in that box for 10 seconds, 10 years, or 1,000 years. It would literally be like this. All right, buddy, go in your stasis box. Hey, welcome back to the land of the living. Because time is not experienced in any way, shape, or form inside the stasis box, which means time you don't perceive, which means you don't age. So like you're saying, you can put me in a stasis box with a ribeye steak, close the door, open it 5,000 years later, and I will have yet to move towards taking a bite, and that steak will still be hot and fresh. Which I didn't realize that. I didn't know that. Like I thought, huh?
It's time traveling. Like if you were put in a stasis box, it is effectively time traveling.
It's like a stationary. It's like a stationary time travel point. It's the rum and coke tonight, my brother.
Mine's W.
But I'm continually impressed at the whole bottle. I'm continually impressed by by the plot point, like the seemingly simple plot point that the second you look into it increases in complexity almost 100-fold just by thinking about how it functions and what it does, because it's a time stop, but it's not a space stop. So it's not as if you put a stasis box in, activate it, and it's stuck in time and space, and no matter what happens, it's not moving from that fixed point in time, in space time.
Well, the outside of it isn't either.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
But the inside of it is both.
The inside literally, it's like a small bubble that just removes you from time altogether.
Yeah. It's like a dream shard, but for reality.
Yeah.
Except well, kind of. I mean, because the thing is, if you're put in the box and you perceive no passing of time, it doesn't sound like it's something like the way it's kind of written about the stasis boxes is it implies almost like if you put an individual or well, I don't know that you could put a person in there.
Mm-hmm.
You could put. I know we can put the golem in there, but so you
put
anybody in there.
The Zora are also in there. Is it Zora? Or are they
Zamara?
Zamara.
I mean, did the Zamara really like count? Yeah, they're shadow spawn created by Agenor. They're not.
I would state.
They're living, but they're not like necessarily people.
I would state that you could still put a living person in there simply because time does not touch that at all. So you wouldn't come out of the stasis box being hungry. You wouldn't come out of the stasis box feeling tired. You would go into the stasis box. It gets closed. It cuts you off from all time. You, as a living entity, are just kind of like chilling. You won't even blink. And when they open it back up, your eyes are not dried out. Like,
yeah.
So it's not like go in there, close your eyes, and put on this mouth guard so you don't like bite your tongue off in the next 1,000 years, or swallow your tongue in the next 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna keep this IV drip on you so your muscles don't atrophy. It's nothing like that. It's straight up, okay, going into your stasis box, ka-chink, ka-chink. Hey, welcome back. Wow, how long was I in there? 4 million years. What? Like that to me, that's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking real quick to see if I could find where anybody just talked about putting a person in a stasis box. And the real quick one, the closest thing I found was somebody talking about, could you imagine putting weed in a stasis box? And I'm like, the fuck? I mean, it's like perma fresh, but still, like if I had a stasis box, that's not the first thing I'm thinking of doing.
I don't know. I like
but
like I said, I like the idea of a stasis box. We think of a time capsule, right? Where we put it in a box, protected from the elements. We put some newspaper clippings. We put, a cassette tape or a fucking 8-track, and we put it in a concrete barrier.
It's always the lamest shit that gets put into a time capsule. Like, I don't know, in my opinion, like every time I've ever seen like a time capsule open, like the coolest one I've seen was like a coin from what was his name? Like James Madison or some shit like that. It was like a time capsule in Philadelphia. And the coolest thing in it was like a coin. Everything else was like a couple of pieces of newspaper. And I'm like none of this, like, but they also have the problems. Bruh, no. Well, that's the great thing, because the stasis box itself, the box gets older, but the contents never age. It's always like brand new, which makes it not a felony. You're welcome. You're welcome, and I'll take $200 or a bottle of Lagavulin as my retainer fee. So.
There you go. Welcome.
Hey. That was quite a statement to come in on.
I was about to say, welcome. Well done, sir. Well done.
On.
No, So one thing that we talk about with stasis boxes, obviously there's the obvious, the Forsaken. They wake up, and what's the first thing they go for is anything that remains of the Age of Legends, right? To include stasis boxes, to include, Angreal and Sangreal, Terangreal. They end up having a lot of trouble doing this because It's been 3,000 years. And for any of you who know how
Lanfear
geology
going
works,
straight for the soul of Luce Theron. So
I mean,
again,
and it's completely different. It's completely different. She has trouble finding him at first.
Don't get mad, get glad. New press and seal stasis boxes.
Can you imagine Age of Legends like commercials? Get your very own Parandecent brand stasis boxes. Don't buy that.
Imagine the stasis boxes were so common and versatile. They clearly weren't by how few of them are still around. But imagine they were so common that your average everyday like homebody used them as Tupperware storage. Could you imagine dumping like fresh hot spaghetti? Like you could go to Italy, get fresh, hot, authentic spaghetti, put it in a little stasis box Tupperware, come back home, and just open it 8 months later, and it's just like when you got it.
Right?
Could you imagine that? But imagine they were that common.
And put an air tag in it. Bam.
Oh, it won't die, and you'll never lose.
My dog.
That's actually. I don't.
Here we go.
That'd be interesting. Like that.
That's an idea.
I don't think that would work.
Wolf Brother has
because to be able to see where it is, it has to be able to ping out a signal, and for a signal to travel, time has to pass.
Oh,
so if time can't pass in a stasis box, and it's not affected by time, then a signal just wouldn't travel because there's no time to pass for it to travel until you open the box again.
That's true.
So.
Wolf Brother has a good question. Do the boxes have unlimited space? That is frankly a good question. And here's why. Ishamael locates a stasis box that contains dozens of Zamara. And if you're not familiar with what
a walk-in freezer.
If you're not familiar with what a Zamara is a kind of shadow spawn. It's much more benign than a shadow spawn. It's essentially it's like an androgynous child. Like imagine like an androgynous 12-year-old, right? You can't really see much about them other than it's 12-year-old and it somehow seems to know what you want to say or what you want to do, has no emotional response to anything. And at the Dark Friend Social at the beginning of book 2 or 3, I think it's book 2, is the first time we're introduced to the Zamara, and they are servants at the Dark Friend Social.
3. It's in the prologue of the Great Hunt.
Yeah, okay. That's I get those two mixed up.
Oh, I didn't know it. I scrolled down in the article and saw it.
but that begs the question: how much room are there in these things? Do we have stasis boxes that are really, really big? Do we have one size fits all? Do we have some that are small?
This stasis box is for your steak dinner. This stasis box is for your ranch dipping sauce.
Can I get the ramekin stasis box?
Get the brand new meal prep stasis box set for 4 easy installments of $49.99.
And it's dishwasher safe.
So wait, I mean, nothing would ever go rotten, but imagine the frustration of like putting your stasis box in the dishwasher and it like gets closed in the dishwasher.
And then everything inside the dishwasher is affected by the stasis field.
But then, like, if they are unlimited storage, then you also have to childproof them. Could you imagine, like, looking for your kid and they've fallen into a stasis box? I mean, the kid would be fine eventually, but like, if you never looked, imagine this: you're like 20, you and your spouse are 20, you have a kid, and they fall in a stasis box that you didn't even know was there, or you lose. And then like 30 years later, you've like moved on, like kind of grieved and everything. And you're going through your old shit in the house. You find a stasis box and you're like, I wonder what's here. And you open it and your fucking toddler pops out like a Jack in the Box. Bro. That's fucking horror movie shit right there.
I almost spit out my drink.
A series of unfortunate stasis boxes.
Two Geeks says it's a Jumanji console.
Or better yet, you prank somebody. You could fart in a stasis box, like the most disgusting vile fart. Close it, and whenever they open it, it'll be like you just like farted in their face. It'll be like the scene from Click where like Adam Sandler farts in his boss's face. See, I'm thinking of all the really good uses for stasis boxes. People are wasting it storing like dozens of Zamara and like mood ring dresses,
weapons.
Yeah.
Well, but there is something for the side of the light that was hidden in a stasis box. At the Eye of the World, they find a stasis box that has... Isn't it a stasis box that has it?
It's presumed to be.
Yeah, the stasis... So the Horn of Valir and the Dragon Banner is in a stasis box.
It's
if we're to compare
some band
to this...
kid's lunchbox from school.
So if we're to take the show's interpretation of that box,
then that would mean that
it's a cute box.
Matt's lightsaber dagger can cut through
Matt's
stasis
lightsaber stick dagger pretend make believe land of make believe weapon.
It's a lightsaber.
Seriously, that was so bad. That was
wasn't a big fan of the way the CGI looked.
All I could think of is Mr. Rogers being there and being like, "Hello, young Natrum. Do you know that in the land of make-believe, that would be a powerful weapon?" And what really happened in that scene is Matt died, but the power of make-believe allowed him to imagine him being a great hero in a big battle. But what really happened is he tied that dagger to the end of the stick, and it did not turn into a lightsaber, and he did not escape.
He picked it up and it fell off and just caught him in the dome.
That's it. That's exactly it. He went, "I made a weapon!" And it fell right off and poink. Right between the eyes.
Brett, no, that's so bad. So here's the thing: like, if I don't think the show's going with it being a stasis box, then how the hell would Turok know how to open it?
The interesting thing about the Shan-Chan is when they do come across the Aerith Ocean, they do seem to have knowledge from the Age of Legends that the Westlands don't have. But
look who they're descendants of. You think they would like entertain like having a stasis box around?
And that's what I was gonna say is that you would have
that's post breaking anyway, but
you would naturally have different cultures who value different things and who shun different things. Naturally, they would retain different bits of knowledge.
Wait, hold on. Thought. Okay, this is maybe one of my first time ever going like Lew Therin was fucking stupid thoughts. Why didn't he put all of the fucking like shadow generals like fucking Ishmael and everybody in just a fucking stasis box? You don't run the risk of like the seal failing. You don't need partnership from like anybody else because the stasis box is already there, and you just padlock the son of a bitch.
Okay, but just padlock it.
Just padlock the son of a bitch and bam. The only one you can't stasis box is like
put him in a stasis box and then yeet that stasis box to the sun.
Hey man, have you seen the movie Now You See Me, or Now You See Me Too?
Yes, I love
with the dude's dad in the safe.
Yes.
All right, you just drop it in the Thames River.
There it is.
Or drop it into like the fucking the trench that they have Bail Dolman drop the male Adam into.
Well, it's the Marianas Trench, or it's supposed to be a callback to the Marianas Trench that I think is what you're referring to. I don't know what they call it though.
Well, yeah,
but it's like the deepest point in the ocean. They want him to navigate out to it and drop the
like go fucking dump it in here, and then somebody's like, nope.
Yeeteth the Tyron Grial Leeteth.
But like I think that's actually if you could put people in stasis boxes and they stay that way, like it seems like in the Age of Legends, they already knew how to shield and tie off weaves, right? Why not shield your enemies like Ishi, like Simurgh, like all of the Forsaken, tie off the shield and put them in a stasis box? It actually would be more humane than sealing them like they were, because they wouldn't experience the passage of time. They would be kept away. Why not do that to male channelers as they start going insane? I mean, the obvious, I guess the fair answer would be like, there's a lot of them. They started breaking shit. It's kind of hard to just stop everybody from breaking shit whenever half of your entire military force is self-destructing. But
well, this is another one of those things that Robert Jordan does really, really well. Is he's able to interrupt.
Like a fish bumps the box and it comes open and she's like, "Louis Theron, you son of a."
or like Rita coming out of the Power Rangers, after 10,000 years, I'm free. Time to conquer. No, this was gonna say is that in the Age of Legends, we don't know. We don't know what their capabilities were. Is a stasis box something that is common, like Tupperware?
That's what Narnia
or is it something? What?
Narnia is a stasis box.
Is Narnia a stasis box?
I mean,
like a shoebox in the back of that damn wardrobe.
No, but like they come out and it's like they come out at essentially the same time they went in, and they're back to normal, like they never aged.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You are so disruptive. You are so needy. Oh my god! No. So we don't know, like, if stasis boxes were common, if they were commonplace. Did every home have a stasis box? Was it as common as a show wing, or was it something that was relatively new scientifically and wasn't mass produced and was reserved strictly for things that were important? I would venture a guess that you have at least one stasis box that's used for sort of a prison type aspect, because that's where the golem was stored, was in a stasis box. And I think whoever put the golem in the stasis box, you got one of two options there. Someone who like wants the golem for their own, right? And so they keep it in a stasis box so they can use it when they want to. Or someone who's completely terrified of it, and the best option they have is to throw it in a stasis box so that you can't hurt anyone anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how to defeat you, so I'm just gonna seal you away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the fifth great Shinobi War. For all you Naruto fans, they can't defeat all the reanimated people, so they have to just seal them away.
Seal them away. Yeah.
Unless you're Itachi, because you're badder than everybody else. No. So here's another thought. What if like you closed up an explosion in the stasis box? Like what would happen when you open it? Is it like a stasis box hand grenade now?
Yes. No, like, okay. Stick of dynamite, flashbang grenade, anything, right? Doesn't matter. Nuclear warhead. Put it in there with like 1 second left. Set it down in the middle of the target you want to do, and then they'd be like, "Oh, what's this?" Open it up, and then boom.
And Louis Theron rolling up to the to his version of the last battle with a nuke in a stasis box. It's my nuke in a box.
My nuke in a box, girl.
Makes me think of two other anime that make good use of nukes, kind of. No Game, No Life, and The Imminence in Shadow. Haven't watched them.
In the chat. IED.
Yeah, bro, we're just.
That is what it would be, though.
20 minutes of talking about stasis boxes, and we've turned them into IEDs. Timeless IEDs. These IEDs will never get soggy. They will never get wet. They will never get impotent.
Oh, it's too true, though.
A stasis box sperm bank. You don't need to cryo freeze anything.
Okay.
The baby gravy's perma good.
Is there a is there a situation in which a stasis box does not work? Yeah, boy.
Huh.
I can't think of one. Like, there's literally no scenario that I can think of that in which it is
scenario where you need time to pass. That's about it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't use a stasis box like a slow cooker.
True.
So
like if you need but the timer
no stasis box macaroni and cheese or stew.
Welcome to my 10 million year recipe.
Again,
load everything into the stasis box and
we need quick,
easy,
healthy stasis box recipes.
we got to talk to Rob from Malcure Talks and be like, dude, we got the worst cooking show ever.
Bro, imagine being a fucking delivery driver with a stasis box. You thought Domino's or DoorDash's bags were good?
Yes.
But it eliminates the need for refrigerators and freezers almost entirely.
So here's my thing. They have to be still relatively new, right? Tower didn't go off. Yeah, this here's a meal that my great grandpappy made. There you go. Bad use for stasis box. Alcohol aging.
There you go.
When you want to get a 20-year scotch, you ain't gonna get no 20-year scotch inside a stasis box.
Bruh. This whiskey's been aging in this stasis box for 2,000 years. You open it and it's like just still clear.
It's still clear. There's still got that real harsh edge on it. It's time to play. Will it stasis? 1,000 years ago, my great grandfather put his little brother in this stasis box. Now it's time to find out. Will it stasis?
No. Hi, I'm Billy Mays here. And I'm gonna flex seal this stasis box.
Don't have time to do that laundry.
I didn't
really
care
stain
about
in your shirt. Throw it in the stasis hamper so the stain doesn't set. That way you can leave it for 1,000 years and still get to that nasty stain.
Oh. Is your significant other about to shit their pants in the show wing? Put them in the stasis box.
Okay, we've all been there. We've all been there.
But that would be super
I gotta
great.
pee like a racehorse. Can you please just throw me in your stasis backpack? Please.
Yeah. I'm gonna hop in the stasis box, babe. Just drive us home and just open
whenever you want
in the bathroom.
Take your time.
Take your time. They finally open it, and it's like the scene. It's like the old lady from Titanic, and it's like, how long was I in the stasis box? It's been 83
years. Or like that Mel Gibson movie, Forever Young.
Yeah, bro. How would you make up for that? Sorry, babe. I forgot you in the stasis box. Sorry, honey. I put the kids in a stasis
Sorry,
box.
honey. You know what? I put the kids to bed. I was tired. Things were quiet. Things were great. And I just couldn't imagine. I knew I was forgetting something.
Oh,
but everything was so happy and stress-free that I didn't know what it was.
Oh, God. Yeah,
50 years later, I was like, oh, shit. Ooh.
Imagine how terrifying it'd be to, like, if you thought you could get away with murder, but stasis boxes existed. So, like, the DNA would never go bad.
dude. So, but here's where I was going with this, though, is that stasis boxes have such a wide range of uses that either A, they were relatively new at the breaking, or B, they are still subject to corrosion and rotting on the outside, and that as they are destroyed from the outside, everything, all the contents on the inside go bad.
Oh, now, what if they were all destroyed by the forces of the light because they found out they used them to defeat the golem, and they didn't risk opening any stasis boxes in case it had the golem in it
for fear of golem in it? Ooh,
it's like the boogeyman in the bag of holding for D&D.
The man in the bag.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, if you guys are familiar with D&D and don't know what the man in the bag is, look it up. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
The bag man? Yeah.
The bag man. But imagine having a stasis box and using it to like safeguard away a mood ring in cloth form. That's like the most worthless use of a stasis box.
See, this is where I get weird with it, because we have, now granted, what you're referring to the street, right?
Yeah.
So
I was born on the street. I'm gonna grow up on the street.
She's put a street. Grendel
Mike
finds
Tyson
a stasis
talking
box,
about his childhood.
and inside the stasis box is a street, which is basically a dress that is a mood ring. That's also a dress. That's also a mood ring. And this is what makes this is a.
Do I make you horny, baby? Do I make you Randy?
Do I make you street, baby? No, the thing that makes me think that these stasis boxes were, if not en masse, if not produced en masse, they were at least produced enough so that the wealthy had access to them.
Yeah.
Because if I'm a wealthy person in a time of peace, what do? I go, oh, I got my stasis box here, and I put sentimental items in there. So like if I've got a sweater that my grandmother gave me that I don't want moths eating, and I don't want the fibers corroding over time, I put it in there. If I've got jewelry that I don't want oxidizing and corroding, I put it in the stasis box. So Grendel finds a stasis box, and there's a streath in it, or strafe. So, and I guess that would fit too with people having different priorities in life as well, right? Because some are like, oh no, the world is breaking. I will take all of my Zamara and put them in the stasis box so they are safe.
Well, it could have been something like more of like a lower or middle class family, where like the streath was expensive, and this was like, a very expensive thing they had as a family that, was a rare thing for them to afford. So they put it in their GE brand stasis box for safekeeping and to, keep it fresh. But I don't know. I mean, they are incredible, but I don't know how widespread they would be, because like if they were super rare, then you would think that it would be all like very important stuff in them. Whereas all of these so far, like 3 of the 4 do contain very important or rare stuff. To be fair, we don't know how rare streath fabric was. I think it's actually like would be indicated that it's not very rare because it was popular during the Age of Legends.
But
there's also nothing saying that was the only thing that Grendel found in that. Like Grendel's definitely the kind of person to open a stasis box, see some clothing that she probably loved having that was popular whenever she was last like aware, and ignore like the freaking shock lance in the stasis box.
Like throw that shit away. What am I going to do with that?
Like pull an Obi-Wan, so uncivilized, and like toss it.
Yes, that is exactly what Grendel did. I I like to think. I think the more we talk about it, the more comfortable I am in saying that a stasis box was something that was probably only available to, only available to the to like the elite, the upper class kind of a thing. It's something that the common person probably did not own. And if they were more widely available, we would have found our Tirangrial. We would have found our Angreal, Sangreal, writings, bits of technology, knowledge. Granted, there was not a Brown Aja because the Brown Aja didn't exist in the Age of Legends, but I can't imagine that there weren't Aes Sedai and other kings and queens and dukes and duchesses and lords and ladies who didn't have the power, the finances, the economics to have a stasis box available to them, who wouldn't have saved something for their progeny, something for if I'm the king of Faldara, let's say, or if I'm the okay, listen here. Like that's you like see all your grandkids coming back. Grandpa, can I look at your stasis box? My time has come.
That's my K-bar from Nom. The blood is still fresh. It'd be like did you see the story about the I think it was a Marine during like Vietnam that like took a dude's arm as a souvenir and then like finally returned it to the guy and it was just bones?
What?
If he had put it in the stasis box, well, no, he still couldn't have reattached it because the guy's shoulder would have healed over. Imagine how fucked up that would have been, though. Like, hey man, sorry I took your arm as a souvenir, and you hand it back, and it's still warm,
good as new.
Bruh.
No, but if I'm a leader or if I'm someone who's rich and powerful, what am I putting in a stasis box? I'm putting something in a stasis box that's going to help. Especially because they had to know it was the end of the world. Like even that's some Rocket Raccoon shit. Even if I'm let's say I'm a male channeler, I'm throwing myself in a stasis box.
It's scary outside. I'm going in the box.
Well, I mean, how many people went in to the steading hoping for essentially the same effect? I'm going to ride it out until we. The guy's eye. Just put it in the stasis box; it'll be fine.
You could get rid of the cats, like not the animal, but the combat action tourniquets.
Right.
If they were like obviously plentiful enough. Could you make a stasis box with a hole in it so you could close it around like an appendage? I'm literally thinking Andrew, like Stephen. No! I'm thinking about arm. All right.
Sure you are. Sure.
I am.
It's not.
I literally was. I made the dick in a box joke earlier. And bro,
for medical purposes.
That's how you keep your balls from sagging.
If you got a stasis. If you got like a little stasis box situation for more than 4 hours. A little like
male chastity belt that's like actually just a stasis box. Tell me, have you ever seen an 80-year-old man with a 18-year-old peen?
Oh shit.
Bruh. That'd be so disturbing.
All I could think of there is Baby Herman from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You think you got it tough? I got a 50-year-old lust and a 2-year-old dinky. Or this one. But Two Geeks, all I could think of on that one is, don't worry, I've got the body of a much younger person. Oh, really? Yeah, it's in my freezer.
If you could close it around that, if you made one big enough and closed it around like your waist, could you walk?
Smack gets it. Smack gets it.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Could you? Like, if you closed it around your waist, could you still walk? Or would someone have to, like, push the box around for you? Because, like, I don't think you could, because whenever assuming that closing it around you allowed the stasis box to still work as normal, again, you'd have the time thing. So as soon as the impulses from your nerves hit the part of your body that goes into the stasis box, they would stop because they couldn't go any further. But then when you open the box, imagine getting like 80,000 signals to walk sent directly to your legs like that. Your legs would like tear off. I just made the stasis box, assuming that would work, a little more terrifying than I was.
I don't know.
Like, imagine that torture. Like, they close it around like your waist, and then like they make you eat a bunch. So whenever they open it, you suddenly have to shit. And then all of your movements suddenly come in at once. Stasis.
Never have to worry about impotence again.
I just like that it's in the Sears winter catalog. They know what people are doing when it's cold outside.
Look, it's cold out here, okay?
Bruh, that's another good use for it. Just put a fire in it. It's a portable campfire that never runs out of fuel. Unless you like leave the box open.
I
just keep getting sidetracked by either like really stupid or potentially horrifying uses of a stasis box.
Look, as far as when it comes to stasis boxes, you also have another thing here, is that is it with weaves, or is there like a technological?
Buried my grandpa in a stasis box.
It would have to be weaves, right? It'd have to be the one power, but they would have had to have discovered a way to.
I thought you were saying weebs, not weaves. I was like, what do like anime nerds have to do with a stasis box?
Weaves.
The entirety
How
of
many weaves
JoJo's
does it
Bizarre
take to
Adventure
make a
Powers
stasis box? 2, but you got to cut them real thin.
Bruh.
This conversation went in such a different direction, a direction I was not expecting.
Right. You came up with this idea, and I could just tell like it was exciting because it was going to be serious, and then I very promptly was like, "What if you farted in a stasis box and then closed it and handed it to your grandma?" Like,
I'm blaming the tainted jerks in our live chat. That's what I'm doing. Those crazy Patreons who not only can I not get enough of the taint, but they have to get it early as well. And that's the thing to keep in mind. If you too wish to become a Patreon, you can get early taint. You can get it when it's fresh, hot, straight from the dark one's teeth. Fresh out the stasis box. Fresh out the box.
Bruh. The like pure immature asshole like impulse now to like get an airtight box, fart in it, and give it to somebody at JordanCon and be like, "Hey, open the stasis box."
No,
I'm not going to do it because that's horribly unsanitary.
Just so everybody knows, if you are at a convention and Andrew hands you a box, do not open the box. Do not mail it. You've heard of glitter bombs.
That's how we get people to listen to the show. They open the box and they're like, "Oh God, that's horrible." Like, well, if you watched our show, you would have known, and it wouldn't happen.
You would have known not to open.
We put the PSA out there. It's not my fault you didn't get the message.
Oh shit, dude.
Bruh.
Okay. Last thoughts on Stasis box. We didn't even get to talk about.
We got to change the title of this episode before it goes live because one hit wonders definitely doesn't fit. It's more just like, what would you do with a stasis box?
What would you do for a Klondike box? What would you do for a stasis box?
100 impractical uses for a stasis box.
There you go. 101 uses for a stasis box. We didn't even get to talk about the fact that Samuel found a box.
Guide to a stasis box.
There it is. Samuel found a box that had, he says, lots of goodies and something else.
Grindal's farts. It was full of Grindal's farts.
that he ordered on Age of Legends OnlyFans.
Bruh.
Right
He went to the freaking the Perrin Deason's panty vendor machine.
No, stop.
Bought out the Grindal stock. Put it in a stasis box. Man looked at the vending machine and said, "I'll take your entire stock."
How many quarters did you bring?
If you look really closely at his like breastplate, it's not actually 9 B's. It's 9 really, really tiny panties.
He also talks about he does talk about finding stasis boxes that are broken and the contents inside ruined. Thus, going back to what we were talking about, how they do have a flaw. They do have a weakness. If there is any extreme exposure to the elements, they do indeed lose their ability to survive.
Oh, so they have like
they do have a
max operating temperature.
Yeah.
Oh, which means like they wouldn't survive like being dumped into like the ocean.
Well, they would, but if you think about it like this, if you dumped them into the ocean and they corroded and disintegrated inside the ocean, or maybe they felt under the pressure of all the water there and they collapsed, crushed like a beer can kind of thing. As long as any piece of that is exposed and breaks the time seal, then they just get drowned and they get crushed. So it doesn't really matter if it survives the journey to the bottom of the Marianas Trench or not.
I mean, if you're trying to get rid of them.
If you're trying to get rid of them, yes.
You're just like, yeah, I'm going to preserve you. I'll come back in like 80 years. And then you go down there and find a crushed box and you're like, fuck.
The ones that are Flex Seal tape, those are the ones that the Forsaken found.
To prove how strong it is, I Flex Sealed myself in this
Billy
stasis
Mays
box.
Here. I'm going to wrap this stasis box in Flex tape. Was it Billy Mays? No, Billy Mays was already dead by the time Flex tape came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's the other guy for Flex Seal.
Yeah.
I sawed this boat in half. I can't remember his name. I can see his face.
I'm looking him up right now.
The one power can't do what Billy Mays does. Was it Todd? Not the ShamWow guy. Not the ShamWow guy.
No, it's not the ShamWow guy.
It was the other guy.
It was.
It'll last 3 turnings or your money back.
Phil Swift.
Phil Swift. Yeah. That guy. Imagine that guy popping out of a Flex Sealed stasis box after 120 years or something. Still all the same amounts of energy.
That at least 3 turnings. Or your money back. How are you supposed to get your money back? Wait, you gotta wait till you're reincarnated and leave yourself a note in the stasis box.
You tape a note to the inside lid of the stasis box, and whenever it opens, you're like,
Unless your turning turns into the TV show turning, and then say goodbye to your stasis box. They don't exist anymore.
What?
Stasis boxes. They are a fun plot hole or plot device. I think they're a genius plot device because so much of the Age of Legends is a mystery. Like even when we delve into the Age of Legends and we go combing through all the information we have. Oh, that's right. Hey, Wolf Brother, good point. Speaking of Phil, as in Punxsutawney Phil, it's almost Groundhog's Day.
Bruh. Well, the first thing you put in the stasis box is the receipt.
Facts. No, I like this as a plot point because you have the bit of story that is The Age of Legends is a complete and total mystery. We go through. That's where I was. We go combing through it, and we learn so much about the Age of Legends, but we still don't know an extremely large portion about the Age of Legends and how it worked. I think what we have is a really good historical perspective of the Age of Legends. I think we know as much about the Age of Legends as Egyptologists know about ancient Egypt, or people who study ancient Greece know about ancient Greece. Maybe we know less, maybe we know a little bit more. I don't know. But I think that's one thing that I love about the series is that Robert Jordan did a really great job of creating a really great sort of archaeological, historical record of pieces of the Age of Legends and giving that to us as mysteries that are still relevant to today. Which I would even say that he did better than Lord of the Rings, because even Lord of the Rings has historical references. The city of Gondor is the White City of Icthelion. Well, who the hell is Icthelion? Well, you don't know. And guess what? We don't care either as readers. But when you have something like that in the Wheel of Time, we go, wait a minute, I thought I just read about that. And you have references to give us a desire to understand what happened in the Age of Legends. Stasis boxes are a really great sort. I can imagine Robert Jordan just being like, I need to introduce something from the Age of Legends here, and I don't really want to take time to explain it. Oh, look, Stasis box. It's a time capsule. Maybe he saw on the news someone opening a time capsule from 1974, and he was like, time capsule. Boom.
You could really call it a time capsule? Wouldn't it be more apt to call it a timeless capsule?
Well, we know how Robert Jordan likes to take a concept that we are familiar with, put a couple of apostrophes in it, and call it a day.
Well, he took something that would be timeless, got rid of the less, added more. So,
no, exactly. So when it comes to sort of my final thoughts on Stasis box, like, I love the Stasis box. I think it's fun. It gives us a really fun sort of plot device for introducing some really horrifying concepts and characters, as well as some mundane ones. So it feels real. It's not an uncrackable safe in the middle of Las Vegas that we have to break it. It's also just some rich dude was like, I'm going to give this Streath lingerie to my girlfriend later on, and I want to make sure it's brand new. I don't want it to get any wrinkles in it, so I'm going to hang it up inside my Stasis box, and then breaking of the world happens that night, and he never gets to give it to her. And then fast forward 3,000 years, and Grendal's like, hey, score. And I like it. It creates a more real application for an incredibly unreal item or plot device in the stories.
yeah, no, I never really cared about the Stasis boxes, because other than the Golem and now like the Horn of Valir and the Dragon Banner, like nothing that was ever like useful or impactful or whatever like came out. Like it was like a neat little micro glimpse into the Age of Legends for the most part. That I was like, okay, like that's neat, but I don't really care. After this discussion, I like them a lot. I like the idea of a Stasis box a lot, for absolutely like some of the worst possible reasons. Because I would just be serially running around like shitting my pants in every Stasis box. Like,
you were having way too much fun with the impractical use.
The places my brain went about Stasis boxes. This is definitely not the conversation I expected either. I was like, oh, it's going to be like fairly serious for like 20, 30 minutes. Then we'll run out of stuff to talk about the Stasis box and we'll talk about something else. And next thing you know, we're like, oh, it could be used like this for torture.
Yeah.
Bro, imagine if you like, all right, final thought about a horrible way to use a Stasis box. Assuming you could close it around stuff and it still worked. Bruh. Actually, I can't top that sentence. Never mind. your mind, bruh, has that berry been in your stasis box? I'm also a child, so that just sounds dirty as shit too. Bruh. There's no better way to end this episode than Reese-a-tie statement.
I'm putting it back up.
Let's just leave it up. Just leave it up.
I'm just leaving it. It's right there. Is that a berry in your stasis box, or are you just happy to see me? Makes no sense. Anyway, hi.
But no, they're really neat in both really useful, really entertaining, and really terrifying ways. Based off of like the assumption that most of this stuff would work. Could revolutionize the Tupperware and the refrigerator and freezer industry overnight.
I'm listening.
No, I just got distracted thinking of other horrible uses for the stasis box. I'm not going to say how, but your socks would never get crusty in a stasis box. You know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, ask anyone with a teenage son.
Hashtag boy
or that was a teenage son, I guess.
Or that was a... We don't need to
dirty
talk
bastards.
About
We've all done it at least once.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for listening to Black Tower
hiding your sock in the stasis box.
Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to become one of our incredibly blessed Patreons, please go to patreon.com. What is it? Patreon.com/Black Tower.
I think so. I just always go to blacktowerpod.com/ and then click the Patreon button.
You can go to blacktowerpod.com. Dick. Blacktowerpod.com. It's got our Patreon. It's got all our stuff there. But for as little as
patreon.com/blacktowerpod.
Yeah. If you can go there, you can support us monetarily for, I think it's like 83 cents a month if you do the annual subscription. Or if you don't have money and you don't have the ability to support us like that, totally fine. We totally get it. We're not forcing that on anybody, but if you would give us a like and a subscribe, that would equally help support us. And you get more Black Tower content coming at your eyeballs and your
That's what I'm gonna do.
holes.
I'm gonna add that to the family member tier, like that lady that was selling her farts in a jar until she had to be hospitalized because of gastric distress. Black Tower podcast personalized stasis box. Sent O'Mahale. Thank you all for tolerating my insanely childish humor tonight. And if you didn't entertain it and you've already left and like, oh, just two disgusting dudes joking about farting in a box for 23 minutes.
Which you would not be wrong for doing so.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fair. Please make sure you leave a comment so that other people can see it. Share this to your friends. Be like, hey, you want to hear some of the most brain dead conversation about a stasis box? This episode is the equivalent of farting in a stasis box and giving it to your friends. I want that to be like one of our front page reviews of the podcast. Like farting in a stasis box and giving it to your friends. Someone, please leave us a 5-star review and put that as the thing. It's like I farted in a can and gave it to a friend. It's the best. Anyway, so thanks for listening. Thank you all for your time. You're both welcome, and we're also sorry. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Catch a whiff, immediately close it, but the scent would remain. Just it. It would never diffuse out. It would take centuries. Or you just like open it and toss it outside. Also, I have never seen one of these intact before. This is the ancient Dead Sea Tupperware. Listen. Still good. Would the sound, would you still hear the sound because the sound waves couldn't travel because of the suspended time?
No, you'd have to close the box
Oh,
before the
okay.
sound had to escape.
That's fair. I'd find a
But for
way.
the sake of this hilarity and not being
Probably
scientifically
pinch my
accurate,
cheeks
yes,
with the lid by
you
accident. There.
absolutely would. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for liking and subscribing to the video. We love you guys. We really do. As Andrew stated, thank you so much for dealing with us. And sorry.
What would you do with a stasis box?
What would you do with a stasis? What would you do for a stasis box? What would you put in a stasis box? Leave a comment below.
Can't be worse than anything I've said.
Are there any
Well, I mean, it
other
could.
one-hit wonders in the Wheel of Time? Is there something else that they mentioned like twice and you're like, tell me more about that? Leave it in the comments below. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's bite it.
Items, things, doodads.
Yeah.
Not people. We have another series.
From all of us here at the Tower That Is Black, we thank you. We want to say thanks so much for being here, and we hope you have appreciated your weekly dose of taint. I have been your Sorvan Mahale, Josh, and wherever you are, we hope you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first got here.
And I've been your stasis box of farts, Mahale, Andrew. Thank you all. We love you, and we'll see you next time on another episode of the Black Tower